Have you ever wondered why some people seem completely unshaken no matter what life throws at them? Why nothing seems to disturb their peace while others get frustrated over the smallest things? What if I told you that this ability isn't something you're born with, but something you can learn, something you can master? Why some people are unbreakable. Look around and you'll notice something. The most powerful people in the world aren't the ones who talk the loudest or react the fastest. They're the ones who stay calm. The ones who seem untouched by negativity, unaffected by criticism, unmoved by the chaos around them. It's not that they don't feel emotions, they do. But they have learned one simple truth. Reacting gives away your power. The moment you show frustration, anger, or insecurity, you hand control over to the outside world. You let people, circumstances, and random events dictate your emotion. And when that happens, you're no longer in charge of yourself. Your emotions are being controlled like a puppet. The silent strength of emotional control. Now, think about the most composed person you know. Maybe it's a leader, a mentor, or someone you admire. What makes them different? It's their ability to remain still in the face of chaos. They don't explain themselves. They don't rush to defend. They don't break their own peace just to prove a point. And that's because they've mastered a psychological trick. The ability to act unbothered even when they are. Because here's the secret. The mind follows the body. If you act unaffected, your brain starts to believe it. If you carry yourself with calmness, your emotions adapt. And over time, this stops being an act. It becomes your reality. Why acting unbothered is a superpower. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. When your actions don't match your emotions, your brain works to bring them into alignment. That's why when you act confident, you become confident. When you act unfazed, you become unfazed. But the opposite is also true. The more you react, the weaker you become. The more you engage in pointless arguments, the more power you lose. Every time you let something disturb your peace, you reinforce the idea that the world has control over you. So starting today, you need to make a decision. Will you let the world dictate your emotions, or will you reclaim your power? What happens when you stop reacting? Imagine walking into a room where someone tries to insult you, but you don't react, you don't defend, you don't explain. You just smile and move forward. What happens next? At first, they may try harder to provoke you. But then something interesting happens. They lose interest. They see they have no power over you, and suddenly, they stop trying. Because that's how human psychology works. People only push buttons when they know they work. When you remove the reaction, you remove their control. And that's when you become powerful. Your first step toward unshakable confidence. From this moment forward, commit to this one mindset. Nothing outside of me controls me. I choose what affects me. I decide where my energy goes. Every time you feel the urge to react, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be no. You are not your emotions. You are the observer of them. Most people believe that emotions control them, that feelings of anger, sadness, or frustration are forces they have no choice but to obey. But this is an illusion. The truth is, emotions don't control you, your reaction to them does. The moment you understand this, you gain something most people never will: freedom. Think about the last time something upset you. Maybe someone said something hurtful. Maybe a situation didn't go your way. Now ask yourself, was it the event that disturbed you, or was it your reaction to it? Your mind is a powerful machine, constantly creating emotions based on how you interpret situations. If you believe an insult is an attack on your worth, you feel hurt. But if you see it as meaningless noise, it carries no weight. The strongest people don't lack emotions, they simply refuse to let them dictate their actions. They recognize that feelings are temporary, but decisions have lasting consequences. So instead of reacting instantly, they pause, they observe, they choose their response. And in that small gap between emotion and reaction, they reclaim their power. This is emotional mastery. When you stop letting emotions control you, everything changes. Stress no longer breaks you. People's opinions lose their grip on you. Unexpected challenges no longer shake your confidence. Because you are no longer a slave to your feelings, you are in control. Starting now, whenever an emotion rises within you, don't fight it. Don't suppress it. Simply acknowledge it and then decide, is this worth my energy? The moment you start choosing your responses instead of reacting on impulse, you step into a level of power most people never reach, a power that makes you unshakable. Your mind believes what you tell it. Every thought, every reaction, every emotion you reinforce becomes a pattern. If you constantly react with frustration, your mind learns that frustration is your default state. If you let stress consume you, your brain adapts to see stress as normal. But here's the good news. You can rewire your mind. Resilience isn't about being emotionless. It's about conditioning your mind to stay steady no matter what happens. Psychologists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reprogram itself based on repeated experiences. And this is where real strength is built. Imagine two people facing the same problem. One crumbles under pressure, drowning in negativity. The other stays calm, assessing the situation without panic. The difference? Their mental conditioning. The first person has trained their brain to react emotionally. The second has trained their brain to remain steady. Which one do you think holds more power? Your mind is always listening to you. Every time you choose to stay calm instead of reacting, you teach it that you are in control. Every time you act unaffected, even when emotions try to take over, you train yourself to become stronger. And over time, something incredible happens. What once required effort becomes effortless. What started as acting unbothered turns into being unbothered. This is how resilience is built. Not overnight, not by force, but through consistent training. So from this moment forward, whenever something tries to shake you, remember, your mind believes what you feed it. Feed it strength, feed it control, feed it the belief that nothing can break you. Because once your mind adapts to this reality, the world loses its ability to shake you. Your mind follows your actions more than your feelings. This is why the most powerful psychological trick you can use is to act as if nothing bothers you, even when it does. Most people wait to feel confident before they act confidently. They wait to feel unbothered before they stop reacting. But that's not how the mind works. Action comes first, feelings follow. Think about a time when you forced yourself to smile, even when you didn't feel happy. What happened? Within moments, your mood started to shift. That's because your brain takes cues from your body. The same principle applies to emotional control. If you start behaving as if negativity doesn't affect you, your brain begins to believe it. Your emotions start aligning with your actions. Over time, this stops being an act. It becomes your natural state. This is not about pretending, it's about training your mind. When someone insults you, instead of reacting, pause. Stay silent. Let their words disappear into nothingness. Your lack of reaction sends a powerful message, not just to them, but to yourself. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, straighten your posture, slow your breathing, and handle it with composure. Even if frustration rises inside, don't let it control your actions. The more you practice this, the more automatic it becomes. At first, it might feel unnatural, but soon it becomes second nature. You'll wake up one day and realize that things that once triggered you no longer affect you. Because by acting unbothered, you become unbothered. And once you reach that point, nothing, not people, not circumstances, not even your own passing emotions can shake you. The world is full of people who will test your patience. Some will criticize you. Some will try to provoke a reaction. Others will attempt to make you feel small, insecure, or unworthy. But here's what most people don't realize. The moment you react, you lose. Why? Because when someone can trigger your emotions, they have power over you. The more you respond with anger, frustration, or defensiveness, the more control you hand over to them. This is exactly what they want. To see you affected, to see you disturbed, to feel like they can manipulate your state of mind. This is how emotional control works. It's not about who is right or wrong. It's about who stays in control. Have you ever noticed how certain people love to push buttons? They say things just to get a reaction. They test boundaries. They feed off of drama. Why? Because